Ladies, gentlemen, and every gorgeous person out there, I would like to welcome you all to the show. I am your host tonight, Virtual Lily, and today I wanted to share with you some of the top experiences for games in VRChat, and these will entertain you for hours, if not even days. There are some of these really rare gems when it comes to virtual reality and what it can offer in terms of games. However, in VRChat, all of that is free and ready to explore with friends, or just to hop into on your own and reach for the top scores in different communities. So join me today on this epic adventure along with some friends of mine in today's episode of The Loner's Guide to VRChat. Let's start off with a bit of a wild idea. What if you could play a video game like Monster Hunter or Wild Hearts and be fully immersed as if you could fight the monsters yourself, with some of these badass weapons and pulling off some wild combos, mastering different classes, and more? Well, when it comes to VRChat, it's more than likely to exist as an experience. Monster Battle Arena, developed by Dulla, is exactly this. A full monster fighting simulator with custom weapons, classes, and even grabbing a bite to eat. The world is fully voiced in Japanese, with instructions in English also. All you have to do is sign yourself up for the tournament and choose your weapon class. Each class has a variety of different movesets that can be triggered as one-handed or two-handed weapons, including mobility, heavy attacks, changing up your strategy on the fly, even supporting your allies for healing and long-range damage. Personally, I love the heavy damage weapons, such as the Pile Axe or the Greatsword, and the damage is pretty consistent. However, adding in the extra battle flair will grant you a few style points. Oh, and also make sure to grab some food, as with each meal providing a different buff to you specifically, as well as increasing your vitality, damage reduction, or boosting your own damage. Monsters are chosen by selecting the bounty and handing that to the desk clerk. Once the elevator is called up, you can make your way to the arena and prepare for one hell of a fight. Each monster will have a different attack pattern, AoE, charge attacks, and will aggro to yourself or allies. There are currently 4 tiers of monsters which you can slowly work your way towards, each more challenging than the last. You'll have to analyze and learn each attack pattern, choose your strategies carefully with each weapon, and you will have a lot of variety of tools to get you in and out of combat. However, managing your cooldowns is key, and if the fight gets a little too hard, well, you'll have to team up with some friends for that extra boss raid feeling. Honestly, there's so much fun in running into a boss fight with your friends and just nerd swinging giant weapons and flailing to keep each other alive when you're the support class. The encounters can be really intense and will require some coordination between your class choices. You'll have 3 respawns per party, so once you pass out, you'll have to start over again. But don't worry, you can always change out your weapons, swap out a different challenge, or adjust your diet, and you can head back into the hunt. Honestly, I love how cool this world is, and honestly, really getting into the role-playing aspect it's too hard to ignore. I like to swing big swords at big monsters, what can I say? Coming up next is Jet Set Radio Festival, created by none other than Lakuza. I cannot tell you how excited I was when I heard this world was coming out, which I heard back of this way back in 2019. And much like with Lakuza's projects, this took a few years to develop alongside others from the prefab community. There is also a Quest-compatible version also, so anyone can enjoy. Essentially, it's what it says on the label. It's Jet Set Radio, but in VR. It deviates from the original game in terms of map and goals, while still feeling like a revisit to an old gaming classic. Featuring all the original music and jams, you can spend days just skating around, completing puzzles, time trials, challenges, and so much more. The world has a sweet grinding mechanic that feels authentic, easy to learn, but hard to master. You can learn everything in the main area, and then just go ahead and explore a little. Cat, what do you want? You are just sat there lying, meowing at me. You're lying down. Fuck off. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. You're being expelled. You're expelled. You have left the cafe. It's a very large map, so having some friends means you might get a little bit lost. But it's still so much fun, sort of challenging your friends to races, seeing who can complete boss challenges, and getting into new heights. The mechanics are simple. Jumping on rails will let you grind, moving faster, and jumping off a rail will give you a double jump. You can also wall ride to certain panels and signs, and when you jump off, you get a first initial boost and then a second jump after that too. You can collect these spray cans next to your head, which will let you tag walls with the designs that you select at the start, as well as using 10 cans to give yourself a boost by hitting both triggers. After that, it's up to you to explore and tear around the streets. And there are so many goals to complete, from token collecting, getting all the tag spots, discovering the locals, or seeing if you can complete all the boss battles. These challenges are to test your skills on courses with different themes, and honestly, I'm not the greatest at these, but I do love to try and see how far I can get and sort of explore the different characters. But personally, I'm all about the music and exploration, seeing the cool areas I can get to, and giving the city a really colorful makeover. And this world was incredibly influential on release, inspiring a lot of creators to develop skater-based avatars and the tryhards of the virtual space, and so many challenge world records. There are speedrunners sharing many of their feats. And I highly recommend following Lakuza for their work, and their upcoming worlds for VRChat are looking incredible so far. Genuinely, thank you. And next up on our list is Resin Art, and this series is created by September47, who has honestly made one of the best rhythm games for VRChat. And the music is licensed for streamers and content creators who use these worlds, which is incredible considering the massive roster that this game has, with songs from OBK, Tash, and even some hardcore songs from Camellia, which you may have heard them from some other games like DDR and Beat Saber. Also, fun fact, I've actually designed a concert for a few of these artists too, so it's kind of hella cool to sort of have these super fun experiences, which honestly, they go hard. The game is available both on VRChat and its own standalone game on Steam, and it has some really basic mechanics. And it's a rhythm game, meaning when the music plays, you're to score points by hitting notes that sort of come towards you at a bar. And this is a VR gaming, meaning you'll be using your hands for this sort of experience. Essentially, there's 4 types of notes: pink, orange, blue, and green. You hit these notes by placing your hand on the strings in the circle in front of you, and pink notes are simple, by having your hand sort of present on the note when it comes to you. Orange notes are meant for you to hold your hand there until it's completed. Blue notes are when you have to pull your hand away from the note, and kind of like you're strumming a string on a guitar, or simply swatting it away. Green notes are clap notes. You bring your hands together and clap. For this, I highly recommend that you just simply try and tap your fingertips rather than full-on clapping. This just to avoid hitting your controllers. You can also change this up to be either for trigger, squeezing, or your grip buttons. And every song will have a range of difficulties, genres, and artists, and each world having different selections each time. As mentioned, there are currently 4 episodes in the series. The latest one is being updated more and more lately, so keep your eye on the new releases. What's cool about these worlds is that they have this awesome camera system with scoreboards and different viewing styles for your audiences. They also come with a multiplayer, so you can challenge friends and test your skills at some of the insane level songs. And the recent episode does have a save system, meaning you'll need to unlock songs by completing special challenges, like getting a full combo, finishing a song, and so on. You can load in a save file, and that is simply an output as a text you can copy and paste in. This way, you never lose your progress, and you can come back when you need to. Honestly, this world has been one of my all-time favorites to jam out in. And, watch some funny rhythm notes all day long. I highly recommend this. And finally, but surely not the least, is the Pandora series created by MinaFrancesca. Honestly, this has been one of the biggest enigmas of all of VRChat, with 4 worlds to sort of explore. It's recommended to play this with some friends, as some of the puzzles will require more than 1 brain cell to complete. However, the views are spectacular to say the least, each world delving more and more into a dreamlike state as you learn more about the story and unlock gorgeous puzzles. Now, fair warning, these worlds are heavy, meaning that they can reach almost a gigabyte large in memory. I know in gamer terms that isn't much, but for VRChat, where Quest users are sort of limited to only 100 megabytes, it's insane to see how large these worlds get. and they are massive. I have spent days in these environments following roads and paths that just go on forever. And you will encounter very strange areas and tools that will help you on your journey. Each world has a continued lore and story, both in Japanese and in English. The music is also composed by the creator, so I recommend turning up your world volume for this one. As well as a huge puzzle map, it is also a really beautiful environment that spans for miles. Each of the areas are beautifully designed and some really creative ways to get your brains working. Honestly, I use this map quite a lot just to sort of walk and talk with friends, but also at the same time, when you need to take that little moment of a break, you can just focus on a puzzle and carry on. For now, the last episode is a difficult one to get into, as I don't have the hardware to access it. Yes, that's how heavy this one is. My computer cannot handle opening up this world. But I would love to see more adventurers out there explore these worlds and discover the secrets. So far, I've seen very little noise about this on social media, so seeing who has managed to complete these maps would be incredible. Each episode gets more breathtaking with new lore, environments to discover, and it does come with a useful speedrunning mechanic. And by tapping your left joystick twice quickly, you can sprint along to places much quicker. And upon completion, most puzzles will give you this sort of code that you can use to unlock areas and teleports. So taking pictures will be very useful, as you will want to come back again, and that is intended as the sort of save system or a checkpoint system. As I've said, I've spent so long in these worlds, and I still discover new things to this day. I drag anyone I can to the world just for the views alone, but seeing them also think can also be tons of fun. And really, these maps have been going through so much development and are still being updated to make sure that the puzzles always will work. It just takes a little bit of figuring out to find out the only ways to get through it. Alright, and that is all I have for you today. Thank you all so very much for watching, and do always support the channel by watching my streams, dropping a like, a subscribe. I've also got some support links down in the description down below, so thank you all so much, and I will see you all on the next one. Be home essential, and take care, y'all.
How would anyone take that up their ass?
I know. So
Holy.
here's the thing. This was a brainchild of me. It was a silly meme, but the idea that someone might wind up in the hospital with this stuck in them because I incepted it haunts me.
It's probably happened.
God.
And I do want those X-rays, and I really do want those X-rays if it did.